In front of 33,000 fans last night, they defended their home turf and closed out the Reds. Game 2 features a pair of rookie starters with a combined 9-1 record. Something's got to give tonight on Massive.
It's a great day for baseball.
Cloudy all day, but quite warm, quite muggy. It's the kind of weather when the baseball will fly. And the right team's in town for that, the Reds and the Nats game 2. We had some fireworks, to say the least, here last night. And the Nats have beaten Cincinnati now 4 times in a row over the last 2 years. Ray Knight's with us for one night. I'm Bob Carpenter. And Ray, really with the young shortstop being Desmond, we are seeing the roller coaster ride of a rookie. Some days not so good, but he's hitting the ball really well in clutch situations.
Well, a lot of rookies lack consistency. But one thing for sure, Bob, he has been nailed as he runs in scoring position. Almost a 400 batting average. And again, last night, with 2 strikes, after failing to get the range over, he hit a bullet to left field, scoring Josh Willingham. He had another big base hit Houston to right field where he fought a pitch off. He's on pace to have 82 RBIs this year. That would be an outstanding season for the young shortstop.
So averaging an RBI a game over the last week and a half, that 373, by the way, is 9th in the National League. And he's 3rd on the Nationals in RBIs behind Willingham and behind Ryan Zimmerman. By the way, big-time boo. The umpires must have just shown up. Now let's talk about the young pitchers. 2 of the really good rookies in the National League are going tonight.
Yeah, Mike Leake on the left, 4 wins, 5th amongst rookies. Just very developed, man. He throws a lot of strikes, the curveball, fastball, slider, which is more of a cutter, changeup. Adelano has the 5 wins, has been fairly consistent lately.
22 and 25 years old, respectively. Great defense last night. Zimmerman on the infield, Desmond as well. Nationals turned a couple of double plays. Isn't it amazing? It seems like you even catch the ball better when you play in your own ballpark. The Nats did it last night. TNT, rethink possible. By Jaguar. Visit your local Jaguar dealer to experience the 2011 Jaguar XJ. And by Grown Ups in theaters June 25th. The turnstiles have been spinning all weekend. Great crowd last night. Another good crowd gathering tonight for the Nats and the Reds. Game 2. Washington now 15-10 at home. The Reds of Cincinnati 12-13 on the road. Here come the Nats to take the field, and we have some game notes for you. Ryan Zimmerman all over the bases. They've walked him 11 times in his last 7 games. The Nats continue to play close games, and they grabbed a 2-run verdict last night. And the Reds not good with runners in scoring position. They're one of the best teams in all of baseball in offense. Number 1 in the league in hitting at 276, in homers and in runs scored. And here's their lineup. It's pretty much the same as last night. Johnny Gomes at 301, hitting beautifully over the last month, really. Not only the last 10 games, but 378 over the last month. And he's one of the best hitters in the league with runners in scoring position. Luis Adelano, 9th start of the year. Opponents hitting 269. Not a great ERA, but Ray, sometimes he just finds a way to give up some hits or walk somebody, and then he makes a big pitch and gets out of the inning.
Well, he's been able to keep the opposition from scoring, Johnny. Bobby, home not so sweet. He's 1-1, 7.47, where he's 4-0 and 3.18 on the road. Bears down. One of the reasons that he has kept us in ball games, 8 for 46, 174 batting average with runners in scoring position, and with 2 outs, even better than that. Hitters are only hitting 143, so he has ability to ratchet up a little bit. A long road here, 104 starts in the minor leagues, 7 years down there where he went 36-30 with a 391. Given an opportunity when injuries put our other pitchers down, and he's responded very well.
Defense brought to you by Cisco Federal, a proud mission partner to the U.S. Department of Defense. Nats with the same alignment they had. If you missed the news, Carlos Maldonado has been placed on the DL with a fractured right thumb, and now back healthy, Jamie Burke has been recalled by the Nats to be the backup catcher. And he started the season on the DL. It's open season on catchers around here. The Pudge will play in Potomac Monday and be back in the lineup we expect on Tuesday night here. That's great news. 7:07 here in Washington. First pitch is a strike. And the hitter is Orlando Cabrera, hitting 265. On base percentage of 303 for this good veteran shortstop, who's always been an offensive guy everywhere he's played. Montreal, Boston, the Angels, White Sox, and the A's. Adelano misses way outside, 2-1. Joe West, crew chief, 33-year veteran, has the plate. Angel Hernandez, Paul Schreiber, and Dan Bellino around the bases.
They've been involved in a little bit of controversy this year. The comments he made, the Yankees and the Boston Red Sox, about how slowly they played that series up there.
Then tossing Mark Burley. Ryan Zimmerman's throw is 10 feet offline. And that'll be his 7th error of the year. Wow.
Well, Tim Foley and I were talking about Zim and how he tends to throw the ball from down underneath. And he's always seemed to have done it that way. But back in the day we brought up, they would have stopped him from doing that, getting right on top. It's so difficult to throw the ball accurately from down there. Again, making a bad throw when he had a lot of time. Bobby?
That was strictly a routine play. Ryan has about 5 or 6 of those a year. And that's his 7th error after playing nearly errorless ball for the first month of the season. The hitter's Brandon Phillips. And against any major league team, you don't want to give them 4 outs, but especially this offense.
Yeah, they're leading the league, as you mentioned, in just about every offensive category. One thing, that 2 for 10 runners in scoring position last night is definitely an aberration, because they're leading the National League with a 293 batting average with runners in scoring position. So they're going to drive you in. And in my opinion, from what I've seen thus far, and I haven't seen every National League team, but that's pretty solid right there, isn't it, Bob?
That is more than solid. A manager can bank on some offense just about every night. Only the Blue Jays and Red Sox have hit more homers. And in this league, only the Mets and the Padres have more steals. So they know what to do after they get on base. 1-1 to Phillips. Short lead by Cabrera. He doesn't steal much. But he is 8 for 8. When he goes, he makes it. Cloudy skies all day. Kind of feels like it's going to rain a little bit. Forecast may have some isolated storms. 85 at game time, but look at that humidity. It's getting up there. And our game time weather brought to you by Train. Visit train.com to find a dealer near you. It's hard to stop a train. 1-2, Adelano to Phillips. With his sinker, he's always one pitch away from a double play. The Nats turned a couple last night, and they have 54 on the air.
And that is his best pitch. The sinker's his best pitch. He's primarily a two-pitch pitcher. Sinker ball, slider. Occasionally he throws a changeup, maybe 5 or 6 a game. But his forte is the ability to run the sinker in on right-handed hitters and throw that slider on the outside third of the plate, diving off the plate and get them to hit ground balls to second.
There's one to short. They'll have to hurry. And Desmond couldn't get the ball out of his glove right away, or they would have had the 6-4-3. When you jam a right-handed batter, it takes him forever to get out of the box. And Desmond's double pump took away the twin killing. Good pitch.
Yeah, good fastball, running in, a lot of late movement, jammed, and Desi just tried to get the ball out of his glove prior to setting that back foot. We were always taught to get that back foot set, then bring the ball, make the shift up there, and make that hard throw, especially, as you said, Bobby, he got a terrible jump out of the batter's box.
But a big out for Adelano, and here's Joey Votto.
And just take a look at this, how he tries to get the ball going up as he's trying to set his back foot. You catch that ball, and when that back foot is set, you bring the ball up and make a strong throw to second base, and then generally the exchange is pretty flawless. But I've noticed that, and we've talked about it a little bit, Desi tries to do a little too much right now, and that's all because of inexperience. But he is going to be and is a very solid player. But and early in the game, it takes a little while every night to get those nerves settled down. Once you get that first ball hit to you, then things start to feel a little more comfortable out there.
And that ball's inside. 1-1 to Joey Votto. He's hit 11 homers on the year. Number 6 in slugging percentage. The guy on deck is number 3. Then the Nats have 2 guys in the top 10. There's Scott Rowland at 576. Zimmerman and Dunn are also in the top 10 in slugging percentage. Target in. Instead, Adelano back to Dunn. Brandon Phillips will run as well. 8 steals, but he's been caught 5 times.
Dusty Baker and Walt Jocketty have done a tremendous job putting together an offense. Cabrera, such a veteran leadoff hitter. Phillips can fly, has some pop, hits the ball great behind the runner.
That ball ripped down the line.
And then these guys.
Bernardino slides. Third base coach Mark Berry sending Phillips. And so the error cost the Nationals a run as the Reds take the lead on Votto's 35th RBI.
Yeah, they can swing the pole now. Joey Votto, his 10th double. And this is just a, looks like a changeup. And the ball went down. Roger, you know, it's hard for an outfielder to go to the ground and anything good happens after that. You're better off playing the ball off the carom and then making a very, very strong throw home. Usually you see a guy slide out there, the ball ends up hitting off of a body part and going somewhere else.
So a runner at second now with 1 out.
Yeah, and this is a quick strike offense. They second in the National League in runs scored in the first 2 innings. So once you get, I mean, and it's almost a perfect lineup. You've got veteran leading off, solid hitter with speed in second, left, right, Gomes, who's had, I heard was 3rd in the voting for National League Player of the Month, which went to the big boy down in Atlanta, Troy Glaus. And then Bruce is one of the best young left-handed hitters in the game. So they've got a deep, strong, power-laden offense.
And the young guys are down toward the bottom. Drew Stubbs was their leadoff guy. Didn't do well there, so they bumped Cabrera up there. And they've got as much pop in the middle of this lineup as anybody.
And that's not bad right there. I mean, 6 runs allowed, just 4 earned. That's very good for a young pitcher to be able to get through that first inning and the best 3 or 4 hitters of the lineup right off the get-go.
Rolling, did he go? There's another check swing that goes against the Nats. UPS store packages our strike zone, our pitch track.
Well, this is a pitch that might have been a strike.
Yeah. Now Joe West already yapping at the Nats dugout.
He doesn't take a lot. I mean, he never did. He's one of those guys that has a very short fuse. Great guy off the field, on the field. He always acts like he's got a chip on his shoulder, and he just takes nothing. First thing out of your mouth, he's pointing at you, generally.
Roland will pop it up into right for Bernardina. Joey Votto will not be able to advance. 2 outs. So the appeal was made down to Angel Hernandez.
I'm not going to take that. I'm not going to take what? Just don't even look in the dugout. Hey, the guys in the old days, and we're going to talk a little bit about umpiring as this game goes along, about some of the decisions, but not in a negative way. The difference between when I played and now, and Joe was there when I played, but the veteran guys, they did not provoke arguments. They would not look in the dugout until after the whole team's on them. You know, you can't have somebody barking at you one time after 5, 6 pitches and be glaring in the dugout, because somebody's going to say something. It's almost like you're looking for trouble.
Well, there's no doubt that umpires are more confrontational than ever before. I thought about 10 or 12 years ago it was the worst ever, but now it seems like after being quiet for a while, they've kind of gone back the other way. This one over by the dugout. There is room, and Will Nieves grabs it at the barrier. Considering the error, not a bad job by Adelano. The Reds get an unearned run. And Morgan have been pretty good setting the table this week for Ryan Zimmerman, who's been all over the bases. Dunn, Willingham, and Bernardina, Desmond and Nieves, and Luis Adelano. Nationals are hitting .261. By the way, that's number 5 in the league now, as high as they've been in a long, long time. And here he is, Mike Leake, first-round draft choice just last year. Not a day in the minor leagues. He's only 22 years of age. Born in San Diego, lives in Valley Center, California, and he majored in management at Arizona State. So he's a pitcher who might be a GM someday. Who knows? that may be a while, considering the start he's off to. And here's Guzman. Goes up first pitch swinging against a pitcher he's never seen before.
Well, Mike Leake has been successful because, number one, he's very tough mentally. He's a guy that he came out into spring training, and generally you have veterans that lead all the exercises, and when they run laps, there's a veteran leading. Guess who was out front all spring? Mike Leake. He's a guy that has been tremendously successful everywhere he's been. At Arizona State last year, just last year, 16-1.
Tough play, and safe at first is Guzman. That's one of the best shortstops in baseball, and Christian beat the throw of Orlando Cabrera.
Christian is flying out of the batter's box here, and the advantage of being left-handed. And Cabrera makes that play right. Sets his right foot, gives him a very strong throw over there, and that's just a matter of a man outrunning the baseball.
Here's Niger Morgan, who hitting second now over 6 ball games is 7 for 20.
He's done a good job. Jim has been able to start runners in front of him, and all 3 times that he's done that, Niger has made contact. That's a huge thing, making the defense move around.
Look how Scott Rowland is only 80 feet from home plate. Niger may be able to slap one by him. Callable bunt. Safe at first.
Yeah.
Morgan tries to go down the first base line for about maybe the first or second time this year and just popped it up.
Mike Leake, tell you a little bit about him. 5-way, well, Skyline Chili Gold Star. I spent half of my life in Cincinnati. But the 5-way is that he has a fastball, curveball, slider, cutter, and changeup. Almost perfect. Mentioned the 16-1 at Arizona State. 4-0 this year. Has been outstanding. Commanding performance. He throws strikes. He moves the ball in and out. He has as good a command as any veteran pitcher, and he's only 66 innings into his major league career. So you're seeing a special young man out here, just 22 years old. A lot of comparisons to Strasburg, except that Strasburg throws about 8 or 9 miles an hour faster. But this kid is very, very tough mentally, and just does not get caught up in it.
Zimmerman to the track, or right in front of it, and Jay Bruce puts it away. 2 outs.
And when asked Marty Brenneman, the announcer for the Reds, about what this kid features, he says, look, he doesn't overpower you. He doesn't strike out that many. He doesn't walk a lot of people. He just gets you out. This pitch right here is a fastball. But look at the run at that fastball. It actually started at the mid and ran in about, I'd say 12, 14 inches. And that late movement is what makes hitters not be able to square the ball.
Yeah, that got Zimmerman not far from the trademark. And here's Adam Dunn. Jim Riggleman said today he's not sure what's different about Adam. He leaves that to Rick Eckstein. But he acknowledged it from the dugout. There's a little bit of a different look to what Dunn is doing. And he's been hitting the ball on the sweet spot of the bat. Now, he hasn't gotten the elevation, hitting a lot of home runs yet. But he's hitting line drives and getting base hits. Something Adam's not always done. Now, here's the thing. His career batting average is .247 coming into this year. He starts tonight's game hitting .277. And Ray, he's second in the league in extra base hits.
Yeah, he's hitting a lot of doubles. He never hit a lot of doubles. If you check his history, he was always a 15 double guy, 40 home run guy.
There's a shot that looks like a couple. It'll hit off the scoreboard. Guzman goes to third, and because of the quick retrieval by Bruce, it'll be a single. But Adam Dunn continues to line the ball hard.
And similar plays played differently by 2 right fielders. That ball was hit just as hard as the ball that Votto hit down there. Bernardino, for some reason, decided to slide, and Bruce goes over there, gets the ball off of Karen, gets it back in with a strong throw, and the third base coach stops the runner. When you see an outfielder laying on the ground throwing the ball back in, your natural assumption is he's not going to have a lot on the ball, so it frees you up as a third base coach to keep him rolling.
By the way, If there's a decent bunt, this game is now tied.
Yeah.
So here's Willingham with a 2-out chance to save the inning for the Nats. And he was way out ahead of a slow breaking ball from Mike Leake. So the Nats have 2 hits off the rookie pitcher. Yeah, who coming in and only given up 58 hits in 66 innings.
Yeah, just looking at his starts, you know, he's had one game he gave up 10, and if you average the rest of them, he's given up about just 5, maybe 6 hits a game. So he doesn't give up a lot of hits, but he's right around the strike zone. I mean, all the time. You just see hitters swing. Another interesting note about him, he's not gone to 100 pitches yet. In his 10 starts, 6 of those starts have gone 7 innings plus. The other 4 have gone 6 innings, but he's yet to throw 100 pitches. So that shows you how effective he is with his pitch efficiency.
Ooh, that's close.
That's a strike. I mean,
well,
I don't think that's a ball.
To the first batter of the game, Guzman, a pitch out there on a fastball.
Yeah, it is a ball. It's a little off the plate, an inch or 2.
I think it was to Zimmerman. A fastball out there was called a strike, but not the breaking ball.
You know, one thing that I see, and I know you and I talked about it, how many times do you see these guys take a pitch that's an inch off the plate? I didn't have guts enough to take that pitch. I'll tell you what, when I got 2 strikes, if he threw that thing about halfway in that batter's box over there, I was hacking at it.
That's a fastball outside, 2-2. Well, at least an emergency hack to foul the thing.
Well,
up.
That's all you're trying to do is get to a better pitch, and you know, there's no worse feeling for me as a hitter and most of the guys in my era. It's to get called out on the 3rd strike. Well, you have no chance if you don't swing it out.
Now it goes to 3-2, and Adam Dunn will have a head start at first base. Josh Willingham is the 2nd most walked batter in the league. Roger Bernardina is on deck. 39 walks for Willingham. Albert Pujols 40 going into his game today, and he's hit a home run in St. Louis in a 4-4 game. That's extra innings. 3-2. Willingham hits it well, but right at the center fielder, and the ball died on Stubbs, and he still was able to grab it. The Nats get 2 hits, Strand a couple, and it's 1-0. And how about a pair of great plays? First of all, in Houston, near the line.
Great play, running out of room, and then almost a carbon copy of that last night in a huge situation. Runs on 1st and 2nd. Covering about 30 yards, making that play. A great body control, and I like that Luna, too, because I was number 22. That's one of my favorite numbers.
By the way, that play came when the score was tied 2-2 last night in the 6th inning, and the Reds had 2 men on. Call for the Luna double. Get your second room of flooring free at 877-241-LUNA. Johnny Gomes leads off. Pardon me, Jay Bruce leads off for the Reds in the top of the 2nd. And that one is well off the plate inside. Adelano goes 2-2 on Gomes, having a good season. Pardon me, Bruce. Having a good season at 267. Still coming back from some injuries. That ball landed foul on the line drive. It's on line drives, nothing to do with where it goes by the bag. It's where it lands. And Angel Hernandez was right there behind Adam Dunn.
Pretty good on the road. He's just a solid hitter. He's going to be a perennial 300 hitter when he settles down, learns the league. Boy, he got off to a hot start when they called him up. He's got that sweet stroke, a little bit like Rafael Palmeiro in that he does not look like he is effortless, you know, and he hit the ball a long way just by that impeccable timing that he possesses.
2-2 pitching, and Adelano had to throw 18 pitches in that first inning. Probably at least a half dozen more because of the error. And he misses low and inside with that hard sinker, 3-2.
Great spot. Great spot. These guys, they have eagle eyes now. I mean, this ball is going to be a couple of inches off the plate. And maybe you just don't swing because you can't get to that pitch. Great sequence. Great sequence. Fastball in off the plate, goes back with a backdoor breaking ball. The thing that I like about Luis is he's beginning to work much faster. The first couple of games he pitched well, went 6 innings, but he worked slowly, and that was probably because just trying to feel his way through. But he's working quickly now.
Looked like a changeup. And the Reds had their leadoff man on for the second straight inning. Tomorrow, Family Fun Day. And we got to look at some of the helmets tonight that the kids will take home. Very cool looking red Curly W batting helmets for all the kids 12 and under, first 10,000 I should say. And that's presented by Smithfield tomorrow, so come on out. Nats and the Reds in the final game of the series. Here's Drew Stubbs, the center fielder.
This guy's a good-looking player to me. It's 6'3", 215. Covers a lot of ground in center field.
He just didn't hit enough to stay in the leadoff spot. Now, since they bumped him down to number 7, he's been hitting right around 320 or so. They have a bunch of guys in this lineup who will steal bases. Bruce 5, Votto 6, Phillips 8, Cabrera 8. Stubbs warming it up now that he doesn't have the pressure of being the leadoff guy, and it seems like that gets to some young players. There's a good one by Adelano, and the count's even.
It's a tough place to hit. Leading off is a very tough place to put a guy as well as the 3-hole. You don't see young hitters generally succeed hitting third in the big leagues and hitting first until they've had a little bit of time underneath their belt.
Yeah, unless your name's Braun or Zimmerman. And maybe you throw in Prince Fielder there.
Chipper Jones tight.
Really jammed him. And the count's 1-2. Drew Stubbs is from a town called Atlanta, and it's in Texas. Went to the University of Texas as an All-American. Had some good movement on that pitch.
Another #1 draft choice. 8th pick. 206. They're getting players up here pretty quickly, aren't they?
Yes, they are. Well, the Reds have been like the Nats. It's an organization of opportunity. Now, the Reds have developed more position players. The Nationals are starting to develop pitching. And if the Atlanta formula holds true, that's the way to go for long-term success. Up the middle. Desmond's right there at the bag. That's an easy 6-3 double play thanks to his range. Nationals turn their 3rd double play of the series.
Well, he does have tremendous range, and he up the middle especially. He gets to this ball easily, takes it himself. Just nice on the backside, squares that left shoulder toward first base, and throws a strike to Adam Dunn. You know, the measure of a defensive player isn't always errors. It's the the amount of ground that he covers and when he makes those errors. And as the season progresses, this kid is not going to make those concentration errors or those errors that come out of being a little anxious. And man, does he have some range. As good a range as anybody in this league up the middle for sure. And haven't seen him have a lot of plays in the hole, but we know he's got something to throw with that arm of his.
And a 1-1 pitch and a bouncer. Desmond again. A couple of crow hops, and the Reds are gone, and the pitcher will have to lead off in the third. Bernardina, Desmond, and Nieves coming up. Outfielder is the young center fielder, Drew Stubbs. Their best infield defender, well, there has to be two of them, really. Cabrera at short, who's won 2 Gold Gloves, and Scott Rowland at third. He's won 7. But there's Stubbs, who can really cover some ground in the outfield. Now, Cincinnati doesn't have the biggest outfield in their ballpark. Pretty much a symmetrical field where the ball really flies. But
yeah, that's a bandbox. I mean, it has pretty 330, 402 in center field, but the ball flies out of that ballpark.
Here's Bernardina. And a fastball tailing away. So like Guzman in the first, Bernardina swings at the first pitch from a hurler he's never seen before. Roger is 7th for his last 38. But in 13 games, he's found a way to drive in 8 runs. So he's made his base hits count, and the Nationals have a leadoff single for the second time. 3 hits in the first 6 batters against Mike Leake.
Sinker running away from him, right on the barrel of his bat, and actually on the outside corner. And the only way that you square that ball up is you keep the front shoulder tight. Because if you leave that ball at all, you hit it off the end of the bat. He's starting to show some signs, but he's beginning to hit a lot of balls up the middle, isn't he, Bobby? A lot of balls up the middle.
Desmond chops one foul. Ian, 10 RBIs his last 11 games. And a batting mark sitting right under 270. A surprising third on the team in RBIs. Just ahead of Adam Dunn, behind Willingham and Zimmerman. Runner going, and that's a perfect throw. Ramon Hernandez got it tailing to the second base side of the bag. And Bernardina is gone for the first out.
Well, we picked a pitch, not a good pitch to run on a slide step where he just does not pick his leg up up off the ground, very short jab step, gives Ramon a nice target to throw to, and all he had to do was get it down there accurately. This kid does it all. I mean, he's hitting over 300, and he holds runners well. Pitches like he's 32 years old instead of 22 years old. Gets the ball and lets it go, throws it, works quickly, throws strikes.
That was a breaking ball sitting in the middle of the plate. And the caught stealing is costly as the Nats get another base hit. This team has a lot of fast runners, but the Nationals don't necessarily have guys who are good base stealers. Ray, there's a difference.
There is, and the upside to that, though, in my thinking, is you have to learn through failure. And you got to know what a good jump is. You have to know what a good lead is. You have to, more than anything, you got to study a pitcher enough to know what his first move is. Sometimes, most of the time, it's behind that left knee.
Willie Avis, 3 for his last 24.
Right, this area right here, Bob, there will be a crease in that area right here when he starts to go home. And that's the first thing that moves on pitchers.
Yeah, but last night, Levon got called for a balk on that.
Well, because you also have to step. I ask about that. You have to step as you throw. Phil Niekro used to do it and got away with it. It's a jump throw without a step. So you have to have some kind of movement in that knee. If there's no movement and you just stiff-leg it over there and whirl and throw without stepping, it's a balk. They call it a balk move because you don't step. It's deceiving the runner. And Niekro had one, did it all the time, picked off about 100 guys in his career, and it was funny, they called it early in his career. I'm talking about Phil. And then when he established himself as a great player, they quit calling him.
1-1 to Luis Adelano, who's 1 for 18 on the year. No Major League RBIs.
One of the reasons that the Reds do lead the league in defense. Brandon Phillips also has a couple Gold Gloves.
Yeah, that's right.
As he makes a decision there, he had a chance, maybe 40-60 chance to get that runner at second base, but knowing that the next hitter is Adelano, he just goes and gets the sure out.
1-2 delivery on a breaking ball, a foot outside. The inning is over. 2 more hits for the Nationals. They've stranded 3 and trail 1-0. And this is the ballpark we share. Good to be back home. Couple of great crowds on the homestand so far. Family fun day tomorrow. And it's time for the AFCEA Sideline Report with Debbie Taylor. Visit AFCEA.org, the Association for IT Pros. Debbie.
All right, Bob, there are a lot of sore legs on the national side, but don't worry, this is a good thing. Pat Listash, the third base coach, along with Rick Eckstein, the hitting coach, their families, they all raced in the Susan G. Komen Global Race for a Cure. The Nats had a team. John Lannon ran. This was, of course, his day to run anyway, so don't worry about that, folks. Also, Rachel Dunn, Ginger Willingham, the First Ladies, and the players teaming up for a great cause in the fight against breast cancer. Bob?
Outstanding. One of the great causes in our nation. And a lot of fans bought tickets connected to that race at last night's game and tonight's game. Thanks for your support. This is the good hitting pitcher Ray talked about. Mike Leakey's 8 for 21. 4 sacrifice bunts already.
381.
Only Dan Herron has a better batting average, and Greg Stammen goes tomorrow. Another base hit. Adelano just hung an 0-2 breaking ball to a pitcher. Yikes. And the Reds 3 innings in a row now with the leadoff man on. Throw it a foot outside, huh?
Yeah, you know, this is when you take for granted. Oh, what a good swing. Is that a level swing? That doesn't look like a pitcher. Nice hand action. Getting his body rotated and his backside staying on the ball. That does not look like a pitcher swing. That's why he's hitting now 400.
The UPS store does a lot more than shipping, like offering free moving boxes and supplies. Josh Willingham coming in hard. He's there in plenty of time. Desmond was there to help if needed, and that's the first out. Orlando Cabrera retired. Phillips and Votto will be the next 2 Cincinnati hitters. Nice night at the ballpark. Looks like things overhead have cleared out a bit. It's been real overcast, kind of that rainy look all day. The air's been very heavy and muggy in the area. And here's Brandon Phillips, who reached on the 6'4" fielder's choice his first time.
Cincinnati team, looks like to me they finally have that swagger back after having about 5 down years. Dusty Baker would do that for you, though. Not a more positive manager in all of baseball. And an aggressive general manager like Walt Jocketty, who you were very familiar with, Bob, with your days in St. Louis.
You know, Walt Jocketty reminds me so much of Mike Rizzo and vice versa. They're both gentlemen, first and foremost. They're serious baseball guys who believe in the basics of this sport, Ray, and that's not putting the slide rule to everything, but going out and scouting and watching players. Walt Jocketty was spending some time in Colorado with Oakland, came to St. Louis, brought Tony La Russa with him a year later, and I think one of the great GMs in the game. And I see that stature down the road in a couple of years for Mike Rizzo. They are very similar guys.
I'm with you, Bob. A tremendous decision to keep Mike on here, promote him from his position. Great play.
Tough play for Zimmerman. Out on a close play at second. Boy, that kid's hustling the pitcher leak, and Ryan Zimmerman, after a tricky in-between hop, had to make a total off-balance throw over there.
Yeah, he's one of those guys, when he puts that uniform on, he's playing baseball, and he gets down there in a hurry. A lot of overspin. You know, Ryan plays third base differently than anyone I've ever seen, and better than anybody that I've seen. But most third basemen do not back up on that ball. They would be eat up. His hands are so exceptional. His eye-hand coordination, just superb.
Now, Ryan is very aggressive, but there are certain plays when he doesn't charge because he believes in charging. And Ryan, and I think we all know this by now, he throws better on the run than he does standing still.
He does. He doesn't want to think about it. You've noticed this year there's been a lot of plays where as soon as he's caught the ball, he's gotten rid of it. And his throws haven't been that far off. I mean, when he does that, it may fade a little bit, and Adam comes off the bag, but he gets rid of it so quickly that Adam has plenty of time to make the tag. But truly a special athlete over there. As I was saying, Tim Foley, who knows a little bit about defense.
So does Christian Guzman when he plays the infield, and he's got that one. Red strand to runner. It's 1-0, middle of the
that ball was a rocket. He plays the ball off the wall. My point is that the third base coach is going to watch what the outfielder does even before he starts making the throw back in.
Agreed.
And if there's an outfielder on the ground when the runner's rounding second base, there's a good chance he's going to wave him on, because that unlocks something over there. Coaching third base for 4 or 5 years, you know, anytime I saw an outfielder going hard away from a base he was going to throw to, or if the outfield was a little bit wet, or if he got himself in a position like Bernardino did then, you just keep him running.
I wonder if Roger was a victim of his own speed there, Ray, because if he's not so fast, he's probably playing the carom, and he thought, you know, that was the way he wanted to go. But I think you're right about that slide.
Yeah.
They say when you're rounding third, the best way to stop yourself is to slide when you get past the bag. And evidently Roger felt like that was the best way he could stop out there. But
it's not taught.
Jay Bruce really played that well.
Yeah, it's not something that's taught for an outfielder to go to the ground on a ball. It's taught to take an angle either to the wall to cut it off.
Do you lose some of the mobility with your glove when that happens?
When you fall down, when
you're sliding.
Oh, yes, yeah,
that's got to hurt your movement of your arms.
Yeah, that's. I think that's probably the most critical part.
Guzman will foul one off, and the count's 2-2. Best home hitter in baseball. That's why Christian lives here year-round. He's comfortable here. Oh, nasty breaking ball in the dirt locks him up. 2 Ks in a row for Mike Leake. H.H. Gregg with our TV schedule for the next 5 games. It'll take us into the road trip. Craig Stammen, Bronson Arroyo on Sunday. And then after the day off, Steven Strasburg makes his highly anticipated debut here on Tuesday night. Night games, all 3 against the battling Bucks, and then on to see Manny Acta, Austin Kearns, and the Cleveland Indians, who just got some bad news about one of their best players.
Sizemore.
Yeah, it's really a shame. Grady Sizemore is such a great kid. Hour-long Nats Extra, by the way, before Tuesday night's game. Nats are putting out some word on ticket pickup, parking info, transportation tips. You can go to nationals.com/way-to-go and read the printout that we're looking at. And there's Nigel Morgan, and you know he's thinking too. He's in there easily. With Scott Rowland playing shallow, Ray bumped it right by him with authority.
Well, that's the great advantage of having that kind of speed. You have the threat to bunt. Third baseman has to respect that. You mentioned how, you mentioned about last night on the telecast, third baseman playing up there. Why didn't he just slap the ball by him? Well, he did that time, and you have no time to react on a ball like that. It's by you before you can move your feet.
Niger wears a brace when he runs the bases on that left arm, that left wrist area. And here's Ryan Zimmerman, who flied to right first time. And if the Reds ignore Niger Morgan, he'll try to steal third. But the Nationals have all kind of great suggestions. You can get parking in advance for Tuesday night. If you're coming to the ball game, write down nationals.com/way-to-go. And all the information you need on ticket pickup, parking information, and transportation tips will be right there. Wrist, we call it. Ryan Zimmerman doing well. He's 8 for his last 20. And he's been on base 19 times in his last 8 games. 1-2 on a tough breaking ball.
Niger getting a good lead at second base. Brandon Phillips starting near the bag and then quickly giving way. He'll walk right there and then he'll back off and settle, so nobody's really holding him on.
Whoa, way inside.
Dusty Baker is not a guy to put on a lot of trick plays. He believes in playing the game, not trying to be too tricky. Will allow his catcher to throw through on a missed bunt or an I'll be there play, but he's never been a big proponent of trying to get real tricky.
Looked like a straight change away to a right-hander, and he missed. Barely. Dusty wanted that pitch. First base is open. They don't want to make a fatal mistake here and give up a 2-run homer. And it's a breaking ball that had Zimmerman reaching. Left center, Stubbs, 2 outs.
Well, I've seen him for now 2 2/3, and I've already got a comparison, and this may shock some people. He does a lot of things very, very similarly to Greg Maddux. The way he holds the ball, the way he goes in the stretch and sets his glove up just above the C in the I in Cincinnati. His stride, the movement of his fastball is so similar. His slider, he takes something off of it as he did then. He will throw it 3-2. Now, Maddux didn't have the cutter, that pitch there, that 86-mile-an-hour cutter, but they're similar in stature. Leak, not a big guy.
Well, Ray, I know you talked to Dunn and Zimmerman the other day in Houston, and they said everybody's throwing a cutter now.
Yeah, they did. That whole Houston staff came in there throwing everything right underneath Dunn's belt buckle, as Leak is doing there. But for a very compact delivery, short little leg lift that allows him to get on his backside and keep that balance. Simple delivery, making him able to repeat that delivery time and time again. And he very much resembles Greg Maddux out there. Greg Maddux could hit, fill his position. You remember how many times he would try to take a runner, second baseman out on a double play.
20 players before him since '65 without a day in the minor leagues. And Adam Dunn, who's 3 for 6 in this series, swings through one. Counts 2-2. I don't think anybody played younger, though, in the big leagues than the Reds pitcher Joe Nuxhall. What was he?
15.
15 years old. That's crazy.
1944. World War II had thinned out the ranks in the big leagues. And
unbelievable.
Cincinnati boy, and went to a tryout.
Adam Dunn takes a fastball right down the middle. 3 strikeouts for Mike Lee. The Nats have 5 hits, nothing to show for it, stranding 4. After the third inning of play, we salute them. Bob Carpenter upstairs with Ray Knight. Rob Dibble's son graduating from high school today. Good to have you back with us, buddy. And the young pitchers getting it done so far.
They are working quickly, throwing strikes, very similar. You can see why Leak is so special. He's able to go to 3 or 4 different pitches at any time. Throwing the breaking ball there to Zimmerman with 3-2 count. Had a couple 3-2 counts. Threw a changeup, one of them, and a slider with a little taken off on the second 3-2 count.
Scott Rowland leads off. He is healthy this year, and that's big news for Cincinnati. Guy from nearby Jasper, Indiana, who's found a home in Ohio after going on the disabled list for the 7th time in his career last year with a concussion. This ball jacked down the line, stays in the park. Willingham plays the carom well. Look at that throw. And Rowland into second base with a leadoff double. 4 innings in a row, the Reds have their leadoff man on base. I mean, he just reached out and didn't swing that hard, and it almost left.
Well, he's so strong. I mean, he has always been one of the strongest hitters in the league. And had he not been injured so often, he's a guy that has Hall of Fame type ability. I mean, nobody plays third baseman better, has the best third base throwing arm in the league. And one of those guys that comes to play, boy, he is a true gamer. How would you like to have he and Josh Willingham run together?
Well, I told Ray, and I think I might have told this story previously, maybe a couple of years ago when he was still with St. Louis. I saw Scott Rowland one night on a double play ball that was hit near the second base bag. He took out the second baseman and the shortstop on the same play, sliding in. Yeah. He's one of the best base runners for any big man. And one of the great things about Rowland is, and I don't want to see it in this series, but when he hits a home run, he sprints around the bases. He has never shown up a pitcher in his career.
He does it the right way, man. He always has tremendous respect amongst his peers.
Johnny Gomes fouled out to Will Nieves, ending the first inning. And Adelano has him 0-2. Will Nieves wanted the ball up. Did it hit the bat or the helmet?
It hit the helmet, didn't it?
Johnny Gomes is standing there like the ball hit the bat.
Well, it must have.
You know, Scott Rowland got hit in the helmet by Jason Marquis last year. This was downright scary, but evidently got the bat.
Oh, it did. Thank goodness. It didn't look like it from that angle, did it?
It sure looked like it got him in the helmet.
Did it carry him off of his ricochet off the bat to his helmet? Because it sounded more like a plastic thunk.
I think it hit the bat and then went away. Well, he had nowhere to go.
And then he comes back, and that's not fair. They went up around the chin and then a little slider away.
Well, Will Nieves wanted that pitch up, but he didn't want it that far inside. Another really good Cincinnati hitter in situations like this. In the league, the only better hitter at 476 to Gomes 447 is Ryan Ludwig of St. Louis. And they just beat the Brewers in extra innings 5-4 and lead the Reds by a game and a half in the Central.
Adelano has a very good slider tonight. Real short, crisp break and a sinker or that running fastball.
Here comes Niger. Well, he's really good coming in for a ball. He got a great jump on it. He's had his struggles going back. But, Ray, he makes that play as well as anybody in the National League.
He does. He got a great jump on that ball. He saw that ball, and when I looked up off the monitor, he was already moving. That's a very difficult play. Look at that quick jump coming to it. And he plays shallow anyway. And he's had a little trouble going back on the wall. And the only reason, I mean, he's fearless. He runs into the wall hard. is that on every replay, and I looked at about 5 of them over the course of the season, he takes his eye off the ball about 4 or 5 strides from the wall, finds the wall and looks back up, and then can't find the ball again.
Yeah, how do you practice that in BP?
It's not an easy thing to do. Well, you can't practice in BP.
Next hitter is Jay Bruce. And Adelano gets one in the corner, quickly 0-2.
The Dodgers, however, with Joey Amalfitano.
Joey
Amalfitano, thank you.
Call him Joey.
Joey.
He's a good coach.
They used to put their center fielders out there and take a fungo bat, move up halfway between the pitcher's mound and home plate, and have a guy soft toss to them and hit balls out there, and outfielders work them down. Great sideways movement, and what he's doing with his fastballs is coming right here and moving just that way inside that much. I mean, it is really working hard in, and then his slider, goes right to this part of the plate, and it's just kind of coming here and turning out quickly. Just kind of like that. So you got balls going both ways, and it makes that coverage of the plate much, much tougher. Very good sinker or running fastball tonight. There it is. Starting it off the plate, running it back in with a little downward movement. Very good movement. Look at this thing. Starting way out there, turning back in. That's a good 3 or 4 inch drop and a probably 8 or 9 inch movement back in.
It's got similar action to the swing back fastball of Livan Hernandez, but it's about 5 miles an hour harder.
You're absolutely right, Bob. You're absolutely right.
Now, Livan's been getting outs with that pitch for years.
And that's what makes him so tough, because he throws that thing softly and people can't believe he makes the ball move as much as he does. And it's not subtle movement, even though Livan throws 85, 86. It's late, quick movement.
And there's a very late swing, indicating late movement. And it's 2-2 now to Drew Stubbs.
And again, leadoff double. In our show, we opened up talking about how Adelano has pitched so well with runners in scoring position. It's a good pitch, man. I'm not saying it's a strike, but it's a good pitch. Tough to lay off of this pitch. You want to throw a pitch that appears to be a strike to the hitter. That ball starts just a tad off the plate, but hits right in the glove, right where he's set up. Going back out there again.
That'll get him looking. And we'll see Adelano do what he does best. Men on base, good pitches. Now he did not learn that in the log cabin in Kentucky. And then on to the land of Lincoln. Little gal's got her cowbell tonight, hopefully ringing that for a Nats rally sometime soon. Washington has 5 hits in 3 innings. But on the Zimmerman error and a Votto double, the Reds lead 1-0. Josh hit the ball extremely hard to center, lining out with 2 aboard in the first. .48 pitches, 32 strikes in the first 3 innings. Itching to get on the field, Pudge Rodriguez.
He is.
I had a chat with Pudge in the clubhouse today, and he is psyched about getting down to Woodbridge and playing a game on Monday, then back here on Tuesday. And it's a great situation the Nationals have to have one of their minor league ball clubs within such a short drive of the big league park. He doesn't have to sit on a plane or sit in the car very long. Pudge wasn't exactly on fire with the bat when he got hurt, but he wasn't going to hit 400 this year anyway.
He's a big presence in our lineup, boy. We miss him. The guys around him miss him. The pitchers of the other ball club don't miss him. They know he's a threat. He's one of those guys that he may not get hits all the time, but it seems that he's always there in the clutch to give you a tough at bat.
Years ago came to the big leagues. And Josh hangs tough. He fouled off an inside pitch and now fouls off one away. Another final we haven't told you about from this afternoon. At home where the Mets are nails. Dave Wright hit a homer, his 10th. Jonathan Neese won the game, and they beat the Marlins 6-1. The Mets just can't lose at Citi Field and can't win on the road. Willingham, that's a great at bat.
Well, that's making an adjustment. Because the last at bat, he got him out front more on the breaking ball. He flew out to center field. There he stays back a little bit. Keeps his left shoulder tucked down. Goes down with his head. That makes sure that you stay down and through the ball as opposed to going underneath it with that back leg collapsing and getting the ball airborne. That was a sweet piece of hitting right there. And you asked earlier what Adam Dunn is doing differently. That's what he's doing differently. He's not turning underneath the ball so much, trying to get lift.
Bernardina hits into a double play.
This kid can pitch, man. I mean, there is no question about it.
But that's twice that Roger Bernardina has gone up against a pitcher he's never seen before.
Swinging.
Both at bats, swinging at the first pitch.
And he swings at a pitch that's actually moving down and away from him, and he pulls it. So you also know that when a pitcher, as Adelano or Leak, runs the ball away from left-handed hitters, your focus needs to be left center field. That is the point that you allow the ball to get back to you a little bit more, see it a little longer, and your bat plane is flatter. If you try to turn over that thing, your top hand takes over and you just pound it into the ground.
Desmond with a high drive to right center, and Stubbs is under it. And the Nats, after the leadoff single, go very quickly. This game into the 5th. 1-0 Leak and the Reds. We've been talking about the New Era Flex Plan. You get a New Era ball cap, and you can watch lots of wonderful things unfold in the ballpark this year. You pick 3 games, you get a 4th one free, plus a free New Era Nats cap while supplies last. 888-632-NATS, a maximum of 4 tickets per purchase. Top of the 5th, 8-9-1 for the Reds. Catcher Ramon Hernandez, pitcher Mike Leake, shortstop Orlando Cabrera. Not to be lost in this Cincinnati having the lead is the fact that Luis Adelano is throwing a good ball game so far. Pitch count higher than he would like, about 16 per inning. But the error had something to do with that. And he's trying for the first time tonight to retire a leadoff hitter.
This is the best stuff he's had all year, command-wise and velocity-wise. He's hit 90 tonight. Normally pitches 87, 88. But sinker slider consistently has been right on the corners.
Well, Ray, you wonder with the warm weather, are pitchers getting looser now? Because we were told earlier this year that Adelano's sinker is 90 to 93. Well, we really haven't seen that until tonight. And he's blowing the ball by people. And Ray, you know this. This is not a strikeout pitching staff.
No. They're definitely a contact pitching staff. A staff that we must play good defense behind them. But when you throw 90, and this is 90, and about the last 12 inches of that is sideways movement. It's the way Steve Rogers won. He threw 90, but it seemed like it was 98 because most of it was in towards you.
There's another base hit by the pitcher. And that was 89. So Leake is now 10 for 23 this year.
Start leading him off.
By the way, Tony Gwynn told us last week that Steven Strasburg will be a good pitcher because he's a great athlete who does a lot of things. Or be a good hitter. Now, I don't know if he's going to be 10 for his first 23. This kid's amazing.
He won't be. I mean, that's something that you look at and you think it's a misprint.
They're going to have to look at videotape now of Leake hitting as well as pitching to try to figure out how to get him out.
Bob, it goes, I mean, the reason he's in the big leagues is the mentality, his makeup. And when you talk about Mike Rizzo, that is one thing that they study so hard to try to get the kids that are tough.
Fair ball off the bat of Cabrera. Leake hustling for third. Mark Berry's going to send it. He's going to score.
He's an athlete. I mean, he runs exceptionally well. That ball was hit down on the corner, and your everyday players would have a tough time scoring on that ball. The ball got hung up in the corner, did not come out of the corner. And this ball is smoked. But how many pitchers do you see score from first base? This ball gets down there, and it ends up hitting right at the bottom of the padding and just staying right there. But that kid can fly. So, I mean, but the mentality that he has, you can tell. He is not overwhelmed by anything. He has got tremendous confidence, very, very tough mentally. And, I mean, he's complete.
He just created that run by getting the hit. Cabrera drove him home. And here's Brandon Phillips. And suddenly Adelano, who is eating up the second half of their batting order, gives up 2 consecutive hits.
And that's another thing Greg Maddux would have done right there. He is a guy that was thinking from the get-go, crack of the bat, I'm scoring until the third base coach stops you. The majority of pitchers, for whatever reason, don't think that much on the bases. It's just kind of base to base. He was flying. I mean, that's not an average runner there.
Yeah, we often say about pitchers, he looks like a regulation hitter. Well, around the bases, he looked like a regulation runner.
He did, buddy.
And he deserves a toweling off after that effort. 1 ball and 1 strike to Brandon Phillips.
Desi always goes to that mound. That's why Jim Riggleman talks about, or when he talks, he feels that this kid is going to be a superstar because he does take charge. I mean, he's only less than 50 games into his major league career, and he doesn't act that way. He wants to be a part of the action and a part of the direction of that action. Directing that action.
Out of play to the right side, 2-2.
Better be careful with Cabrera at second. He's 8 for 8. And nobody was near him, and he had a huge lead. Now with 2 strikes, he and Phillips may have a understanding that, look, when I've got 2 strikes on me, don't try to get the third because I don't want you to make me blink when you run.
No balks called. Runner at second, 1 out, top of the 5th. 2-0 Cincinnati. Adelano working slowly here with a runner behind him. Cabrera, by the way, just drove in his 27th run of the year. That's a good number for someone in the leadoff spot. Hasn't been there the whole year. But as a leadoff guy, he's hitting right around 290. Pretty healthy cut by Phillips. And next up, Joey Votto, who hit 2 of the longest batting practice home runs. Okay, the longest I've ever seen hit in this ballpark. When he gets up there by the Miller Lite sign, he hit one to the left, right on that walkway, and the other one's bounced off the girders right below that sign.
This area.
I've never seen anybody hit him up there in batting practice, not even Adam Dunn. Now I got to check to see whether the baseball said Rawlings or Titleist on them. Maybe they borrowed some of the early home run derby balls for the All-Star game, Ray. I mean, I've never seen anybody hit a ball anywhere near up there.
Well, when you're down on the field, you don't think that that's possible.
No, that's got to be close to 500 feet.
Yeah, because it's about 50 feet back on that grassy knoll, that backdrop out there. And then you have another 15-foot to 20-foot high wall. And he went way up in there. I mean, he went up in that area right there. Right there. In here.
Bob Gibson used to say a lot of guys can hit at 5 o'clock. But Joey Votto can hit at 7:05 too. 3-2 to Phillips. 1 out here in the 5th. Great off-speed delivery, had him reaching, and Adelano pounces and throws 2 down. We've got trivia. Let's fire up the smartphone, which is usually smarter than us. Which 2 third basemen have hit 25-plus homers and won a Gold Glove in the same season the most times?
Well, Mike Schmidt has to be one.
Scott Rowland has 7 Gold Gloves. Let me see. He's hit 31, 26, 26, 25. So I would have to say Mike Schmidt and Scott Rowland. Yeah. Yeah, Rowland's best season, 31 homers and 98 for the Phillies. He went to St. Louis and hit 28 one year, 34 in 04 when they went to the World Series. So that's a whole bunch of seasons.
We don't ever jump over into the American League on those things, do we? Because I know Craig Nettles won 5 Gold Gloves. And
I think some of our trivia has included the junior circuit.
But I think you're right. I think it's going to be Rowland and Mike Schmidt. Of course, last year, Ryan Zimmerman won his first Gold Glove, and he hit 33 home runs. So he has his first entry on that list.
And Joey Votto fouls one off, 2-2.
Hit his spot that time. The pitch prior, he tried to go right in there and missed badly away. He hasn't missed his spot very often. He has been very good at spotting the fastball and the breaking ball tonight.
The 2-2 to Votto, who has an RBI double tonight. Had him reaching, strikes him out. Well, the pitcher's base hit was huge for the Reds. Halfway through the ball game, Cincinnati 2-0 in a
pitches.
Here's our TV schedule for the next 5 games. H.H. Gregg brings it to you. And the highlight, of course, will be Tuesday night after the 3rd game of this series. And a special note, Nats Extra, 1 hour long on Tuesday.
It's a little change up. He actually dropped down. That's the first time I've seen his arm angle below 3/4. That was a little lower arm angle.
Oh, that's just great. Second time through the batting order, right down toward the end, Ray, and now he's pulling out everything else. Huh? Most young pitchers don't do that because they can't.
It's the first time he's been 2-0 on any hitter.
And Nieves taps one to short. Nationals have had at least a hit in every inning so far. But a caught stealing in the second of Bernardina. A double play last inning off the bat of Bernardina, keeping the Nats down. The Reds Nats on a Saturday night in our nation's capital, first week of June. Ray Knight's with us tonight. Rob Dibble will be back tomorrow. Celebrated his son's graduation in Connecticut. Got a message from Rob. He said everything was great. And they're on their way back to D.C. and we'll watch the Reds and the Nats tomorrow. And Ray will be back out there with Johnny. Foul ground, tough play, and great concentration by Joey Votto. He never took his eye off the ball, even though his body was getting a bit contorted.
It's the best looking ball club that I've seen. I mean, they're leading the league in defense. They're leading the league in hitting. Their pitching is coming along, and they're seemingly catching everything. Last night they made a mistake in left field. It cost them the ball game on one of the outfielders was overzealous. I believe that Gomes called the ball, but the center fielder has it right away. They collided, knocked the ball out, and they were able to put some runs on the board.
And we were told that's why they called the error on Drew Stubbs. It's because he interfered with his left fielder making the play, even though we felt it was the center fielder's ball.
Yeah, I did.
And the ball actually hit the glove of Gomes, not Stubbs. And the Nats capitalized on that. On the Ian Desmond hit, the Willie Harris sac fly. Took a 4-2 lead, which they never relinquished. So here's Guzman with the bases empty. And he'll slap one right at Scott Rowland on the infield grass. He's had the best third base arm in baseball for about 10 years. He's going to lead off in a 2-0 game. Here's our smartphone. The two third basemen have hit 25-plus homers and won Gold Gloves the most times. Did we get it? Yes, we did. Ray had Mike Schmidt. I think we both had Scott Rowland, who slaps one to Zimmerman. And he whips it over to Adam Dunn. One third baseman, larceny on the other. Great play by the Gold Glover. If Ryan Zimmerman threw the ball like Scott Rowland has for the last 10 years, Ray, he'd make about 3 errors a year because his glove is magical.
He is, man. The best at the business. I just don't know if people appreciate what we have down there. That ball is a rocket, 2-hop overspin from a guy that just drills the baseball. You've got no reaction time over there, and that's the only reason I could catch it, because if I had to think about it much, I probably would have missed it.
Well, but Ray, you were an amateur boxer.
Yes.
You had very quick hands, and I'm sure that served you well at third base.
And I worked hard at it, man. I had great pride in that. The minor leagues had a tough time hitting the breaking ball. I could hit anybody's fastball, and I had a tough time hitting my second year in Double-A. And they were playing me at shortstop. They moved me to second, and I always took a lot of ground balls at third. And I looked at the Reds roster, and they had Concepcion coming. They traded for Joe Morgan in '72. They really didn't have a third baseman. And I actually asked my Double-A manager, Jim Snyder, to let me take some ground balls at third one day in Double-A, and he moved me over there, and I never moved.
Got you to the big leagues. Gomes with a good opposite field swing. Nigel Morgan robbed him on that drive to center last time. And the Reds have their 6th base hit, each team with 6. But they have the RBIs, one by their leadoff man in the 5th. And that was after the double by Joey Votto down the line and right in the 1st inning. And they're getting great pitching tonight, so the 2-0 lead standing up. 1 on, 1 out. Here's Jay Bruce. He's walked and struck out. By the way, the Phillies haven't checked in on them tonight. Jason Worth has hit his 10th of the year. And in the bottom of the 6th, 2 hours north of here, they lead the Padres 6-2 after beating them last night. Best the Reds can do is stay a game behind St. Louis if they win. Cardinals beat Milwaukee 5-4 in 11. And the 0-1 pitch. Late reaction by Bruce.
Good movement. real good movement. He's trying to wait and go to left field because the last at bat to Bruce, he threw him a fastball away and struck him out. But you're not going to hit that pitch. That pitch is starting middle half of the plate and going hard to the corner.
And he goes up and away.
Made a mistake.
Changing the eye levels of the hitter.
Didn't intend to. If you look at the catcher there, he's set up on the inside part of the plate, wanted to go back after showing the fastball away. But you're right, Bob. Changing the eye level, even if it's by mistake, is a good idea. That was not a bad pitch, but they were thinking inside there, and the ball ends up way up and out. So he missed his target a little bit, but it is very effective because the hitter doesn't know that he was setting up in there.
Yeah. Some nights when your stuff is so electric, your mistakes just get fouled off.
But if you remember Lance Berkman the other night, you can't continually go out there pitch after pitch after pitch because Bruce was closer to that pitch. For me right now, you must throw this pitch whether it's a breaking ball or a fastball on the inside third of the plate. If he's guessing with you, so be it. But I think he'll cover the outside pitch now. Good.
0-2.
So he wants it inside and can't get it in there. But still making that elevation change that makes a huge difference. This kid's been impressive tonight. I mean, this is the best hit ball club in the league, Gully. When you look at their stats and know that they're first in average, first in slugging, first in runs scored, they're a tough team to wade through, and nobody in that lineup is an out. They battle you. They fight balls off. Really nice looking lineup.
Center fielder Drew Stubbs is next here in the 6th.
I'd like to see him throw that fastball right there on that inside corner. One out again. So he's trying to be a little too fine out there now. But that's 6 straight pitches away, even though 2 of them were intended to be inside. The hitter just remembers 6 pitches out away from him. McCaddy looking at him. He wants the ball inside, I'm telling you.
Well, you got to make the hitter honest at some point.
Yeah, you do. You do.
There you go.
Good spot. You know he's not going to do anything with it. And now he has a little different feel. He's had to quicken his bat on the inside, even though he's had 5 pitches away. Now it's a matter of, okay, you at least have the hitter thinking. And hitters are constantly thinking pitch to pitch, in and out, soft and hard. But the pitcher controls that.
9th pitch, off speed, jerked way foul. And the hitter working up a sweat here, Jay Bruce.
See, I would go softer if I had that pitch. Now, he doesn't throw a lot of change-ups, but a straight change-up here or a type of sinking type change-up, with him that far out in front, I'd just throw it a little bit softer. See, he's on the fastball away. Just don't believe he's going to get him out there without him hitting the ball hard. But see how these hitters work, and this is what Rick Eckstein wants the Nationals to become. Hitters that fight off pitches, and this is what you call working the count, is when you fight off good pitches. And you wear people down, and eventually you get a good ball to hit.
Well, Adelano started this inning with 81 pitches in 5. He's 3 pitches unofficially away from 100, and he has 1 out in the 6th inning. So he's not long for this game on a very warm night and a deficit of 2 runs. 2-2 again.
Well, this is just a great battle. This is a good young hitter against an up-and-coming young pitcher battling. This has to be 10-11 pitch at bat. 12 pitch at bat right now.
Runner going. now Johnny Gomes gets to come back.
Now, you've mentioned tonight about Bernardino swinging at the first pitch, 2 at-bats.
Yeah.
And you've heard me say our 30 years together that the more pitches you see as a hitter, the better chance that you have of hitting the ball hard. So the advantage has to be to the hitter here. And he's going to have to throw some kind of really, really good pitch to get him out.
Fastball up. Great throw by Nieves. Right on the bag. Strike him out. Throw him out. Double play. Will Nieves nailing his second consecutive runner in this series. And the Nats are out of the inning with Morgan. I think we know those guys. That's Frank Buono and his tribe. And here we go with some highlights. And Ray Knight, what is up with Mike Leake, the way he's hitting the ball?
Well, that was a pretty good pitch. He hit it off the end of the bat, but he stays through the baseball. And then Cabrera, but he's just an athlete, man. He's a guy that probably pitched in Little League, Pony League, American Legion, played shortstop, hit third, point guard on his basketball team,
quarterback
on the football team,
anchor man on the relay team. Roger Morgan drives that ball out to left center, but it tails back to Gomes. Probably the chess master on the chess team. Ladies' night is back and better than ever at Nationals Park next Thursday. It's a luau theme, food and drink specials, games, prizes, live music, 4 p.m. until first pitch. Go to nationals.com/ladiesnight or call 202-632-7649 for your Ladies Night tickets. Ryan Zimmerman 0 for 2 with a couple of fly balls, 1 to right, 1 to center. League's pitch count, by the way, he brought it down over the middle innings. 13 pitches per inning coming into this 6th.
Perfect. That's just perfect.
No contest on the pitch count. How does this guy know so much about the major league level and succeeding here at 22 years of age?
And some kids just have that deal. Buster Posey, a guy from my hometown, or actually Leesburg, 8 miles north.
And Zimmerman gets his first hit of the night.
Has been a really good player since the time he was 12 years old and dominated. Now he finally got called up to the San Francisco Giants, but a lot like this. He was a pitcher, shortstop, Florida State. He played shortstop 2 years. They turned him into a catcher. He's always been able to hit. He could have been a guy to pitch. He threw 92, 93 miles an hour, but every once in a while you just come along with one of those special people that not only has a talent physically, but emotionally and mentally, they're cut above everyone else.
And we're hoping to see one 3 days from now.
Yes, sir.
This ballpark will be electric. We had a great atmosphere here last night.
It was like a playoff atmosphere. Just the buzz of the crowd.
We get a lot of people in this building. It becomes a very exciting place. and 33,774 saw a very good ball game last night.
Good crowd tonight.
I'd say we're probably in the 25 to 27 area tonight. And a 2-0 to Dunn. He wanted to rip, and it was an off-speed pitch, 3-0. Nationals are 5 games over 500 at home now with the win last night. Batting average up, slugging, relievers are better, opponents hit lower. We were talking about the Mets who won their game today. They're 21-9 at home, the best record in Major League Baseball at this time.
See what he did right there, Bob? 3-0 pitch. He threw him a sinker, and all of his other velocities have been 91, 90, 91, 92. He threw it 89, took just a little off of it. Now he throws a fastball at 89 away from him. But he's just not afraid to throw the ball around the strike zone. There has not been many pitches, although he's thrown 26 balls out of 76 pitches. He has not thrown many pitches that weren't around the strike zone. Fast worker. I know he's a great athlete. Some of his numbers are mind-boggling.
And he strikes out Adam Dunn.
On a Greg Maddux type. Take a little bit off of it. Slider that looks like it's hanging, but it's not 85 like his normal sliders. This ball's pretty much middle of the plate and up, but he took a little bit off of it, and the timing is what got it. It certainly wasn't the break of the pitch. And he has a feel, and the Reds, everybody that's following the Reds, from Marty Brennan to Chris Welch, Jeff Brantley, everyone that I've talked to, says this kid has just got it, whatever it is. Very, very special. I mean, heck, give you an example. He walked 12 batters his first 2 outings, and they said he was just a little nervous. He's only walked 12 batters his last 8 games.
Started Willingham with a front door breaking ball for a strike, missed with the fastball away.
But, you know, he can't make a mistake. And this cat right here can do something and do some damage with a mistake. I've got in my book now, he's thrown 5 different pitches at 5 different speeds with his best fastball at 91. And there's that changeup that he just rolls in there, a la Greg Maddux, 84, just underneath bat speed.
Well, he is what you call scattering hits. Nobody has more than 1 in the lineup, and the Nats have 7. 1 extra base hit by Nigel Morgan, right by Scott Rowland back in the 3rd.
Just looking at his performances in his last 5 starts, 7 hits, 10 hits, 5, 4, 4, 4, 5.
That hits Willingham. And the Nats have 2 on with 2 out. And let's see if Roger Bernardina takes a pitch. Josh Willingham has now been hit by 8 pitches this year.
Well, that comes off of the slow breaking ball that he threw, and now he wants to get him thinking a little something different, so he pitches him inside with his hardest pitch.
Prince Fielder leads the league, being hit by 9, and that's 8 for the Hammer. So he's aboard with 2 outs, and Roger Bernardina has seen not a lot of pitches tonight. He got a base hit first time up after swinging and missing in the first pitch.
Well,
and then last time up, he hit into a 4-6-3 double play.
So far, every pitch that he has thrown Bernardina, 3 of them, has been in this part of the plate right here going away, right there. Looks like he's going to go out there again, and he just keeps rolling over.
Trying to pull it.
And there's no reason to change what he's going to end up doing, because he looks like he has that type of command to me. Is now he'll just move that ball, just continue to move it farther and farther and farther and farther away from him. I got a feeling, I just feel that he wants to probably bust him inside one time, but knowing that Bernardina likes the ball in, pretty much have to resist that temptation after you go away a couple of times. Generally, a pitcher goes away twice, and then or 3 times, and he wants to show something inside once just to get a guy off of that look away. He did go in there, but with the breaking ball.
Boy, it looked like Joe West was going to stand up and punch him out.
I thought he was too, Bob.
That was ball 1. What a good 0-2 pitch.
But he did show him something inside. Great 0-2 pitch, just dropping out of the strike zone, but appearing to be a strike for a long time before it made its last move.
And he tries the swing back fastball. And the Houston pitchers ate up Roger with that pitch for 4 days.
Hey, look at the movement of this pitch here. Sets up right there, and it moves back right there. And that's a fastball. That is not any time off-speed pitch. That's a fastball that basically is a running fastball. Slider, and he's all over that.
How can Roger take these pitches?
I don't know.
He was swinging at everything earlier, and now, well, he's got to be smart here on 3 and 2.
Well, he's missing. He's just missing, but you know, just barely missing, and that's what.
But you can't get called out on strikes with 2 men on base.
Oh, he'll swing here.
That's a broken bat, and the ball is dropped by Joey Votto, and coming home to score. Look at that base running by Zimmerman. Joey Votto didn't even have to jump for that ball, and he simply missed it. Can an infielder lose a line drive in the lights? I don't know. And the Nats are on the board with what should be an unearned run.
He can't lose it in the lights, but he can certainly lose it in the crowd. And it looks like to me that he did that here as he gets jammed big time on a cutter inside. Votto just puts his glove up, jumps a little bit on the back leg, and he is not known as a great defensive first baseman, but that's a play that 99 times out of 100 you make.
Well, the Nats gave the Reds a run back in the first, so that part of it's even. And now the tying runs at third base with Ian Desmond, Mr. Clutch, coming in.
Let's look at this thing one more time. He comes in with a slider, little cutter, breaks his bat, and he jumps, and he looks like what he did was he started to jump and never jumped, and that makes your glove hand hard because you kind of, and you.
At third. E3, no RBI. Nats get an unearned run. Any runs in this inning will be unearned. And Desmond now to try to convert.
That was a mistake. That was a kind of a hanging slider. He throws his breaking ball 3 different speeds. I've seen it at 85, which was the cutter, 81 or 2. And then that one was 78. Come on, Desi, keep that clutch hitting rolling, buddy.
9th best in the league. He got jammed on that one. I don't think Scott Rowland has ever thrown the ball away. Nats get an unearned run and a 2-1 game now into the late innings. Now tomorrow, the Nats in partnership with Baseball Tomorrow, the fund collecting new and gently used baseball and softball equipment. Bring your gloves, balls, bats, and helmets. Drop them off outside the center field gates. The equipment drive benefits the Maryland National Capital Park and Planning Commission, Prince George's County Department of Parks and Recreation.
That's very good right there. I mean, they're matching up 62.5, 65%, anything 60 or better is very good. And he's actually matched him pitch for pitch.
They're 11 pitches apart after 6.
Yeah, and about 14 of those was to Jay Bruce the last inning.
That's right. Top of the 7th now. Bottom 3 for the Reds. Stubbs, Hernandez, and Leak. No activity in the Cincinnati bullpen. Adelano, this will probably be his last inning. He's due to bat second.
And based upon how Dusty has handled Leak, he has not thrown over 99 pitches, ladies and gentlemen, over the first 10 starts this season.
So that would give him at the most one more inning, as he sits on 89. Tyler Walker up for the second time. If the Nats had 3 or 4 runs, we'd be sitting here crowing about how brilliantly Adelano's pitching.
This is his best outing.
We don't change our mind about a guy, Ray, just because he's down 2-1 and one of the runs is unearned.
This is his best outing, and one thing that he has done consistently is kept his ball club in games. You know, he's not been a guy that has been brilliant or in any way has wowed you.
He got jammed. Did Stubbs and Josh Willingham, who plays well off the line here. Easy grab. So here we are at the 9 o'clock hour on a warm but beautiful night in our nation's capital. Bob, Ray, and Debbie. It's a good ball game. By the way, not to be lost in all of this, Ray, in close to 17 innings in this series, the Nationals have held the league's best offense to 3 earned runs. So the Nats are getting some pitching in this series so far. And that's a very welcome change coming home from a rough road trip.
Well, one thing that I am proud to say, and I say it with conviction, this ball club may have had a bad road trip, didn't catch the ball, but that man right there has his team playing the right way. And I feel like we can beat anybody. Mike Rizzo has put this team together, gotten rid of some people that were problems in the clubhouse. Not going to mention any names. Whatever the reason the problems were, they didn't fit into what mold. Just like in business, you have a kind of plan out and have a business model. Baseball teams have that same way of going about putting together their ball club. A lot of young pitching talent coming. There's been a lot of talk about a Harper kid from Las Vegas possibly being a guy that the Nationals may pick. They say he's the best hitter in the country.
And they say he's really been given a hard time by other teams' fans. Everybody's taking cheap shots at him, and he's handled it well so far. That ball right in on the hands of Ramon Hernandez. And the staff of Mike, all of his guys about to go into seclusion starting on Monday. We don't see them. They don't come out of the war room for a couple of days.
There's been people all over this country now for the last 3-4 months. Advanced scouts, people going to cross-check. And actually, when I went home to my youngest daughter's graduation, as we look at the replay here on the nice little running sinker, look at the drop on that pitch. 85 miles an hour. I think that's the sinker. It might have been the changeup. If it is, he threw it very hard, but nonetheless, great movement.
And we've talked about this on numerous occasions. This staff has young guys who are pitching for their jobs right now. With Strasburg coming Tuesday, somebody obviously has to go. And right now it doesn't appear like it's going to be Luis Adelano. Over to his left, Guzman. 7 good innings by 25-year-old Luis tonight. 7th inning stretch time in a 2-1 game. We'll start you at 1 p.m. Nats Extra, presented by your Washington Ford dealers. And it's also presented by H.H. Gregg. Luis Adelano throws 114 pitches, 77 strikes, 7 outstanding innings. He'll be pinch hit for in a moment after Will Nieves leads off, bottom of the 7th.
Well, I'm maybe speaking out of line, but I think his fate is sealed. I don't believe he's going anywhere. The kid has pitched really well.
Fastball to Will Nieves, who's 0 for 2 tonight and 3 for his last 26. There's Willie Harris to lead, or rather to pinch hit next.
And pardon you say fastball, and it was, but 85 just flipped it in there.
And a breaking ball and a check swing, and now you've got the hitter 0-2.
Boy, he knows how to pitch. He just knows how to pitch. He can throw all of his pitchers. Every one of his pitches he's able to control. That is rare at 22 years old.
And that will head out of play down the left field line, as it was a breaking ball hanging just a bit on the inside corner, but Will Nieves way out ahead. Lack of speed on that one.
Hey, I want to make a point. You know, you're talking about our young pitching. Johnny Cueto is just 24. They have Edison Volquez, who is, as we look at Arthur Rhodes, he's not a young man. He's been around a while, pitched very well. They've got that, what is Aroldis Chapman?
Aroldis Chapman. Will Nieves hit the ball too hard. It carries right to Johnny Gomes for the first out here in the 7th.
Who they thought enough about to give a 6-year, $30 million contract to. He's 22. He's down in AAA. Leake's 22. So they've got young pitchers coming. Mixed with a couple of veteran guys with Orang and Arroyo.
Here's Willie Harris pinch hitting, and Willie is 4 for 12 with 5 RBIs as a pinch batter. Now Willie likes to swing at the first pitch if he sees a fastball. This will be interesting. And you know he's been sitting in the dugout watching this kid for 6 innings. That one was not hittable below his hands, and that was a smart take. That one just below the strike zone. A smart take, 1-1.
I mean, he's changing speeds off of his fastball, and just you don't see that.
He's pitching like a 5-year veteran.
And tell me somebody that you can think of that is a right-handed pitcher that is able to vary his fastball 5 or 6 miles an hour. I can't think of anybody. Maddox did. But can you think of anybody in our league that varies his fastball that much? Where he adds on, takes a little bit off?
Well, Levon Hernandez, but nobody that throws near 90 miles an hour.
Levon, no question about it. Levon, but nobody that throws 90. And here you go with another curveball there. And he hasn't thrown the curveball much. But we talked about the 5-way, alluding to all that chili up there in Cincinnati from Skyline and Gold Star. I was kind of cutting my teeth on that stuff. That's why I had heart surgery.
Well, I wasn't going to say anything, but they got a pizza joint that I like over there. Great. 1-0 to Guzman. Christian 1 for 3 tonight. That's half 7 hits to 6 by the Reds.
99 pitches. This next pitch will be the first time this year that he's thrown a pitch 100 pitches.
And he's going to get through 7 innings on those. Guzman rounds out. Great inning for Mike Lee. On a hustling base running play, scored on the Joey Votto error. That's all the Nats scoring offense tonight because of Mike Leake. 100 pitches over 7 innings, 1 unearned run. Luis Adelano just about the same, 2 runs, 1 earned, 114 pitches, Ray, over 7.
Well, he was able to mix his 3 pitches. The fastball he threw down in the strike zone with a lot of movement, the outside part of the plate. Just tremendous outing for the kid. Elevated the fastball there to Bruce, struck him out after a 12-13 pitch at bat. Able to go 7 strong innings against the best offense in the game, only yielding, in our league, only yielding 6 hits, 2 runs, 1 earned, as you mentioned. Bobby striking out 4 and only walking 1. My hat's off to him. He's getting better and better every time out, showing a lot of movement on that fastball and the ability to throw the ball to the corners.
Top of the 8th inning, Orlando Cabrera and Tyler Walker is on.
Excuse me, Bob. 6 Ks for Adelano, which is his season high.
Good control. And the only guy he walked immediately was he raced on a double play ball back in the 2nd.
Yeah, I mean,
1-1.
The error that started off the first inning got them ahead 1-0, and then really one legitimate run where the pitcher led off with a hit, and then Cabrera doubled and got hung up down there in the corner. So just can't ask for more than that.
Phillies won their ball game 6-2, the final at home. Jamie Moyer is 6-5. That ball's hit deep to left center. Up against the corner of the fence right there by the bullpen. And a long double by Orlando Cabrera. His second double of the game. And I wonder if he thought that ball was leaving. He didn't make it to second base very early on a ball hit a mile.
Well, he throws the fastball middle in, and the ball scorched. It lacked about 18 inches getting out right in that deepest corner, and he's not running at all.
I was surprised. I thought a leadoff guy would be on third base on a hit like that.
Well, I have a problem with that. I just have a problem with that. The guy's not a home run hitter. You know, you got to be on third base in that, but that's all I'm going to say. Hey, I will say one more thing. Young kids at home, no matter where you hit it, run as hard as you can until a coach tells you to stop, or the ball stops you through your vision. You know, it's just not that hard to run.
Steve McCaddy goes to the mound here to visit with Tyler Walker. We'll check in with Debbie Taylor.
Well, Bob, the bullpen overall this season has done a really nice job, and Steve McCaddy is pleased with the relief corps.
They've done a great job. Jim Lett's done a great job. Well, you know, we talk all the time. He's down there with them. He's telling things. Jimmy's got them going great down there. They're coming in and competing. You know, Caps has been great. Storm's been real good. Clippard's been outstanding. So they're all really doing a job.
And he said, too, that they've been called on to do a lot of work. And since May 17th, the day that Drew Storen was called up, they have a 2.01 ERA and a 2.44 batting average against, which is pretty good, Bob.
Adding up to season totals of 3.54, the bullpen ERA. The opponents hitting 2.49 against them. 19 saves, 18 of them by Matt Capps. 13 wins in the bullpen, led by Clippard with 8. So all in all, the number's really good. You just hope that it's a bullpen that doesn't turn out to be overworked 1/3 of the way into the season. So far, so good.
Brandon Phillips, one thing in his mind here, he must get that runner over to third base.
Walker throws him a pitch away, but it's so far outside he can't offer at it.
And Dusty's the type of manager, and Brandon the type hitter, that he will generally give him the option. If you think you can handle this pitcher and drive the ball to the right side, take a shot over there. If you don't feel good about it, then bunt him over there.
2-0. Ian Desmond getting career advice from Orlando Cabrera. Not a bad guy to seek out.
And Dusty also will 2-0. Offensive man. Could turn him loose to just try to drive the ball to right field. Let's see if he lets him try to hit one that way.
Cabrera 117 home runs in his 13th year. He's stolen over 200 bases. Pitchers want to see some daylight between
What's the glove?
the
See
two
the glove?
players to make that throw.
Flares the glove, shows it. The pitcher always has the prerogative not to throw. He has a small lead out here anyway. Yeah, he took the bunt off.
Inside corner with a fastball. Last night, the teams each had 12 hits. Tonight, each has 7.
You know, with the thunder that you have behind Phillips, and it's almost, in my mind, an imperative to go ahead and bunt the runner over, because you've got so many options that can drive runs in.
That ball's coming back fair, but Will Nieves picks it up while still foul. And that was almost a case where the hitter stood and watched the bunt too long.
Yeah, I mean, Cabrera doesn't run the ball out hard, and right there you can't wait and see if the ball goes foul. Bust your tail down the line, and again, let the umpire call it.
I think had some spin on it.
Look at him, he's walking, watching it. And catcher outruns him down there. 2-2 count. Not 2-1 as we're showing on our graphic there. He'll be swinging here. He won't bunt him with 2 strikes.
Hard breaking ball. And the count's full. Nobody out here in the 8th.
This is a critical out in my mind. You can't afford to walk this guy with a left-handed hitter coming up next. I mean, if he does, he's going to be out of the game. And he's probably out of the game anyway. Left-hander getting loose in the bullpen.
That's a base hit. Hit slowly enough. Cabrera scores easily. 2 consecutive hits now against the bullpen. And the Reds lead 3-1.
Well, we must get better in this spot right here. Whoever it is, we cannot come in that 6th, 7th, 8th inning where you got basically a middle reliever because you're down in the game and just give up tack on runs. And we've done it all year. We certainly have gotten better at the back end, but we still hadn't solved that problem right here.
So Walker fails to retire a batter. And the Nats have a lefty on the way with Joey Votto, a power lefty for Cincinnati. They're up by 2. Voting is open for the All-Star game in Anaheim. So here we are in June, and the All-Star game about 5 weeks away. You can vote up to 25 times at Nationals.com. So vote early, vote often for your favorite Nats at Nationals.com. Sean Burnett struggling against lefty this year. He'll face a dangerous one in Joey Votto. 286 against lefties, 182 against right-handers.
If you wonder why Burnett comes in here instead of Slayton, because Burnett is very good against right-handed hitters. So you bring him in to try to get Votto out, although he has struggled against left-handers, as opposed to Slayton, who would then have to face Roland and Gomes, and he's just not quite as good against right-handed hitters.
Well, either that, Ray, or you bring him in, then you have to use another pitcher.
Well,
because he is a left-handed specialist.
Yeah, you don't want to use but one pitcher here. You don't want to use 2 pitchers in this inning, more than 2 pitchers. So that's what Jim is thinking.
Nats got 3 scoreless innings from their bullpen last night. Clippard, Storin, and Caps.
And I only know that because he told me. He just said that he felt better right now with Burnett against right-handed hitters than he does against left-handed hitters, but he was going to continue to use him as a specialist to get a left-hander out. And in situations where they were right, left, right, he would use Burnett because he thinks he can get him out with that dead fish fastball away.
That one's over the head of Votto. They're going to third base, and there was interference. The runner made contact with Ian Desmond between second and third. And that's going to be an error on Ian Desmond for interference.
This is a judgment call, and if it's inadvertent, but has no business being anywhere near that bad. I actually didn't see it. I was watching the catcher go to the ball, and you cannot impede the progress of a runner as a fielder without making a play on the ball. Let's see what happens here.
Ball ricochets and goes way over to the right. I mean, I didn't see any contact that impeded the runner there. And evidently, Jim Riggleman has just been tossed.
Well, I agree with Riggs. He's getting out of the way. He's running out of the way. He doesn't know where his base path is established. He rounds that bag like he's rounding the corner with a sack of groceries. He didn't cut that bag short. And Desmond's doing everything he can to get out of his way, and you cannot change your path to the next base. He actually reached out to push him or touch him. So I agree. I think that's a bad call. I don't like to say that about umpires and judgment calls, but Desmond's doing everything he can to get out of the way. I mean, heck, if he goes forward and goes the other way and Phillips runs that way, what the heck does he do? I mean, that had nothing to do with him being out or safe at third base. What got him out was his big turn around second. You agree, Bob?
I do, because I think the replay showed that Ian was trying to scramble out of his way, and this is a rookie umpire at third base. Well, pitch, of course, by Burnett, but watch this. Desmond didn't react right away because he didn't. The only mistake Ian Desmond made was that he didn't anticipate that Phillips was going to go to third base.
He didn't slow him down. Phillips reached out and touched him in the back. My opinion doesn't matter.
Third base with nobody out now.
There's some chintzy calls going on. I have not seen a call like last night ever reversed.
A judgment call.
The judgment call. Even if a manager came out and asked for help, I was always told, I got it right. He didn't ask anybody, but I did read Cowboys' lips last night as he said, we got to get them right, Jim. We got to get the plays right. But I don't know if there's been a memo sent out or with all this stuff going on with umpires making bad calls, if they're saying, look, you guys confer and whatever it takes to get it right, get it right. But my question is, how does a guy at first base see a play that actually would be obstructed for him on the backside of the bat?
That play last night was a travesty. It got called wrong to begin with, and then they turned that around in wrong fashion.
And then lose Desi, as it was happening.
Well, the bullpen can't get anybody out tonight.
We're going to take a look at the play last night.
And we did acknowledge that Desmond did come off the bag, but did Scott Rowland knock him off the bag with that tag?
Dusty comes out.
As soon as Joe West came over, we knew there was a problem. And it took 3 seconds for Ian Desmond to be thrown out of the game.
Yeah, I don't know.
Desmond did eject his helmet. That's why he got tossed.
Well, then he's going to get tossed. They got the play right. To me, that's the most important thing. My question is, we played 100 and something plus years.
But Ray, a judgment call is not necessarily a play that should be handled like that. But basically, the umpire at third said, well, I called him safe twice, but now I'm not sure, so let me talk to my other 3 guys.
And he's looking right there. He's the guy that has the best angle on the play. He's right on top of the play. I mean, he missed it. It's human that he misses it. I'm one of those guys, I would like to get all those plays right, because as a manager, they do kill you, and we've seen over the last 4 or 5 days a whole bunch of replays, including play in the 70 World Series where Elrod Hendricks tagged a runner with his glove, a play that Dinkinger missed that cost your beloved Cardinals a World Series. Still, seeing things happen that I've never experienced.
Well, this must be baseball's version of instant replay. 2 balls and a strike to Scott Rowland. Double play ball, but Desmond comes home. What a collision. And Brandon Phillips wipes out Will Nieves, who drops the ball. and he's safe.
And Brandon Phillips and I would have a personal confrontation somewhere here in the next couple of days. Not because he ran over. I like that play. You run over him all you want, but if you slapping yourself in the heart and doing all that stuff, I don't like that. I mean, I am not a purist. I'm a traditionalist, but let me tell you something. I don't care if you set the catcher in the third row. I like this play. I like him running over. Knock him out of there. That's the end of the game. But to do all this pumping and everything, you know, to me, that's not professional, and I couldn't have handled it. And that's why I didn't last very long as a manager. You know, to me, that's showing somebody up, and I hate that.
Well, Will Nieves got that throw late from Desmond. Didn't really have a chance to set up. No RBI given on that fielder's choice. And it looks like they've given Will Nieves an error.
It has
for
to be an
dropping
error.
the ball.
It has to be an error because he drops the ball, and I love that hard-nosed playing. I mean, I do. I mean, run right over him, you win ball games, but I don't like this right here.
It's all about me, guys.
He and I would have a little conversation tomorrow. I'm sorry.
Well, to be honest, a couple of years ago, some people had a problem with Elijah Dukes doing that very thing.
I'd have had a problem with it too.
After he walked to force in the winning run of a game.
I've had a problem with it too, and I'm on his team. But, you know, I just never believed that's the way you play the game.
3 more errors by the Nationals tonight, and the staggering total of 54 errors now in 57 games. Desmond could have probably gotten a double play on that ball, but when you're already down by 2, he decided to come home. And now Burnett strikes out Gomes.
You know, one of the guys that I caught a glimpse of in that was looking out of the dugout was Pudge.
Well, the egotistical display of Brandon Phillips will be duly noted in the other dugout.
Watch Pudge right here. He said, yeah. I remember.
Well, you know what?
I like it. That man knows how to play. He's from way back. And you play hard, you play tough, you play mean, but you don't show anybody up by doing that. What is it? Grandiose?
Well, it's called ego. Well, but you know another thing here?
I hate it.
For Pudge Rodriguez, Brandon Phillips just hurt his little brother, Will Nieves.
Yeah, in the old days, buddy, and nobody likes to hear this, but that next hitter, he would have had a real big bruise on his hip.
And there probably would have been 30 guys on the field looking for each other.
Yeah, they would have. Because it is about respect.
The Nats have thrown some pitches way up and in tonight. Not intentionally, it appears, but the Reds have been ducking some fastballs tonight.
I'm just going to suppose I tell you what, I get riled up in a hurry.
2-0 the count. Burnett to Bruce. That's not good. Desmond went to the bag, and Burnett threw home with Ian Desmond 30 feet out of position.
Well, he's got to step off the bag. Once he sees his shortstop, I like the play, but the pitcher, the correct thing to do, he sees the daylight, and the shortstop is moving towards second, he just steps off. Kills the play and allows Desmond to reset.
Base hit. Another left-hander solves Sean Burnett. Bernardina's throw way up the line, and Cincinnati leads 5-1. Sean Burnett just simply cannot get left-handed batters out consistently this year. It's one of the reasons the Nationals made that trade, to bring him into a bullpen that really did not have an effective left-hander.
Well, left-hander hitters take away that changeup on the inside part of the plate. You hear Dibbs a lot of times talk about right-handers throwing changeups to right-handers. And there's Batista up. So it takes that away. He has to throw the fastball that's kind of true blue, and it's straight. The guys have just been teeing off on that.
So the 2 runs charged to Walker. We'll see how the inning turns out. Right now, one of them is earned. Still only 1 out in this inning.
You know, we haven't talked much about roster space. We certainly talked about a little bit last week. Somebody's going to have to go. There's a couple of candidates.
Adam Dunn under this foul ball. 2 outs.
It's tough to move left-handers out of that bullpen because they're so rare to find anyway.
And by the way, Ray, looking at the scorebook, Brandon Phillips will bat again in this game. Steven Strasburg makes his debut against the Pirates on Tuesday night. Now, John McLaren is managing the ball club. He goes out and gets the ball from Sean Burnett. So it will take the Nats another pitcher to get through this. Telecast presented by authority of the Washington Nationals and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form, and the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the Washington Nationals. Ramon Hernandez will be the hitter, as Miguel Batista is the third pitcher of this inning and the fourth in the game for the Nats. Hernandez 0 for 3. Crowd of 22,896, very quiet. Lance Nix, who had a pinch hit here last night, is in the on-deck circle to hit for Leake. That ball slapped out to right center. Morgan got a good jump. That ball really hit hard. And the inning is over. The Reds pick up 3 runs. We'll check on the unearned ones. Bottom line, they're up by 4.
to throw a cutter, curveball, and have equal control of all those pitches. Phenomenal. Great athlete, can fly, scored from first base. So you little wonder now, once you see a guy, I've never seen him in my life, but no question that he's the real deal and has an uncanny ability to pitch.
Arthur Rhodes into the ball game here. And you saw Heisey in left field. We were initially told it was a double switch, but now we're told the pitcher is hitting ninth, and Heisey, the left fielder, is hitting in the 5 spot. And that was a logical conclusion, the double switch, because the pitcher is due to lead off the ninth. Obviously, that means it's 1 inning for Arthur Rhodes, and then he's done, even with a 4-run lead. So the Nats need some offense here. It's Nick Massett, their primary setup guy, but they're ahead by 4. Nyjer Morgan 1 for 3 with an opposite field double. Nats have 7 hits tonight, but they've stranded 6 base runners. Stranded 12 in the 4-2 win last night. So both of these staffs have been walking the tightrope in these ball games with lots of runners aboard. The Reds have left 6 tonight. Very strong line for Mike Leake tonight. Didn't walk a batter. 5 strikeouts. 7 hits. No earned runs. And Ryan Zimmerman scored the only run of the night against him on an error by Joey Votto in the 6th inning. Nyjer Morgan fanned on a fastball. Nats are down to their final 5 outs.
Well, he's been doing this for a long time, boy. Fastball, inner part. I just swing a little over that pitch. Arthur Rhodes, 40 years young. 23rd season in professional baseball. 7th team that he's played on. With the Orioles for the first 13 years of his career.
Still got that good fastball at the age of 40, throwing 90. Ryan is 1 for 3 tonight. Hitting at .310 in the top 7 in the league. Go to Chili'sBaseball.com. You could win a VIP baseball trip. And at Chili's, it's all in the preparation. Ryan Zimmerman, base hit, walk last night. Single last time.
805 games, boy.
Well, and he's teased a few teams into thinking he could be a closer. It never really worked out for him. But he'll pitch some effective setup for you.
He's in the top 50 all-time appearances and gets in a game, say tomorrow. He will tie Nolan Ryan for 40th on the all-time games list. That's starting to get in some high cotton.
Had Tommy John surgery 3 years ago. Didn't pitch at all in 07. That's got to be tough when you have Tommy John surgery at the age of 37. They put that bionic arm back together, and now he's firing at the age of 40.
Used exclusively as a starter with the Orioles until 1995. They turn him into a reliever.
Zimmerman's on base again. What else is new? Ryan came in with an on-base percentage of .411, which got him in to the number 3 spot in the National League, and he's on 2 more times tonight. Adam Dunn, a single in the first and strikeouts in the third and the sixth.
Hey,
looking and swinging.
A Bullpen and blast, and we're right back in this ball game. Hey, this team has capabilities of scoring runs and scoring quickly. Adam hasn't hit any home runs lately, but he's capable on any pitch. Willingham makes it a little tougher when they throw a 3 spot up in the 8th, but do the same thing.
Well, Scott Rowland wasn't as close to third as he is. Adam Dunn might consider a bunt to get rid of that 0 for 12 against Arthur Rhodes. The Nats do need base runners, but you do want this guy driving the ball. And with a runner at first, Rowland is not as far up the middle as he would usually be on the shift.
You know, if Adam had the capability as a manager, I would not have any problem if he put a bunt down over there, simply because his run don't mean a thing.
Yeah.
You got to build an inning.
Can't do it now with 2 strikes.
No.
Target away. And an inside out swing.
On that big sweeping hook right here, most likely.
That may be the most puzzling number of the year for me in this ball club. 214 with runners aboard Adam Dunn this year. That's why his RBI total is at 28. If he's hitting better with runners on, he's probably up in the 40s right now. Sounded like a broken bat. And that's Phillips to Cabrera, the shortstop. And the Nats are gone. 4-6-3. On to the 9th we go. Play Burnett, a wild pitch. Brandon Phillips with Desmond trying to get out of the way, and it sure didn't seem like Phillips' progress was impeded. But the rookie umpire, Dan Bellino, takes it upon himself to call the runner safe, throw Jim Riggleman out, and the inning fell apart from there. And Will Nieves almost got taken apart by Phillips there, who gets up beating his chest, putting on a display. Look what I did.
Congratulations.
Well, he'll bat third in this inning. We'll see if somebody congratulates him. Lance Nix gets jammed and fouls it off his leg. And the ninth inning is underway. Batista still in for the Nats. We may get a chance in 2 at-bats, Ray, to find out if baseball truly is different in the year 2010 than it ever was. There's their closer, Francisco Cordero. He needs some work.
Hey, how good has Batista thrown the last month?
Really good.
I mean, he had an earned run average in the sixes, and he's fast approaching the high 3s. I mean, he is so valuable to this ball club, just able to fill every role. You can use him to close if you have to. You can use him middle, long, never complains, throws strikes.
Got a save one day when Matt Capps wasn't available.
He surely did. Boy, he just, I mean, he does the job of a couple of guys out there in that bullpen.
Like Arthur Rhodes, around for a long time. They have 72 major league saves between them. So they've pitched out of the limelight most of their careers. And of course, Batista has done a lot more starting than Arthur did. But he seldom pitches with the lead. If it is with a lead, it's 5 or 6 runs ahead, with the exception of that one day when the Nats needed him to get a save.
And when I talked to Riz and Jim Riggleman in spring training, they still wasn't sure whether he was going to be in the bullpen or maybe that 5th start. It all kind of depended on how Levo did, because they weren't sure, and Levo came out of the box so hot. Batista struggled a little bit, as did the bullpen early, except the back of the bullpen. Levo's still pitching lights out, but he's been so valuable out there. There's just been no reason to put him in that rotation, but I believe that he would be outstanding.
And a ball driven to left. Josh Willingham didn't have to back up much, and that's the first out here in the ninth. Here's our Ford drive of the game. Orlando Cabrera. 5th inning, 1-0 game. He doubled the Reds' lead. And by the way, he drove in the pitcher Leak, who had singled. Cabrera 2 for 4 with a pair of doubles. .135, first pitch tomorrow. Nats Extra, 1 o'clock. Craig Stammen, Bronson Arroyo. Looking like a deciding game of the series. Last year, these teams had some battles. The Nats won 4 out of 7, including 3 out of 4 in Cincinnati. That's a swing, says Angel Hernandez. Strike 2.
Cabrera, great little shortstop, was property of the Montreal Expos through 04.
Zimmerman knocks it down, finds it, and he's in a hurry. He never misses a throw. 2 outs. Verizon Fios Nats Extra coming up. Johnny Holiday here at the ballpark with Phil Wood. Strong outing by Luis Adelano. They'll break it down. Jim Riggleman live. Post-game reaction from the clubhouse. Brandon Phillips, to scattered boos, steps in. He's always been a demonstrative ball player. He's one of those guys, if he's on your side, you like him a lot.
Well, I like him as a player. You know,
there you go. Now to Brandon Phillips' credit, he runs right down to first base. I think he knew it was going to happen, and a lot of guys, Ray, would have charged the mound right there and caused something. We tip our cap to Brandon Phillips now because the Nats did what they had to do. Batista has been tossed from the game, and there's no chippiness here. Well, everybody knows what's going on right there.
That's the way you play the game, and I like the way Brandon handled it.
And you know what?
I like it. I mean,
you know what, Ray? You do not have to have a warning to have a pitcher thrown out of a game.
Yeah, that just changed a couple years ago, didn't it? Bob? Because I know when I managed, you had to have a warning before you threw someone out of the game.
Not now. The umpires are allowed to read minds now. And they know if it's intentional or not. But in this case, we cannot fault Batista. We cannot fault Brandon Phillips. He just ran to first base. And then we cannot fault Joe West for throwing Batista out, because I think we all know what was going on there.
I got no problem with any of it.
No.
I like the way this man, Brandon Phillips, handled it, you know, and I don't respect his reaction, but I do respect that. And so as far as I'm concerned, it's over with. Now, I don't know if Dusty's thinking that.
Well, surely Dusty understands what this is all about. And to Phillips' credit, he stands at first base calmly. Was ejected. So Brandon Phillips hit by a pitch right in the middle of the back with 2 outs here in the ninth on the first pitch. Visiting with his first base coach, Billy Hatcher. You know, Ray, a lot of hot dogs in this game would have charged the mound after that. But to Brandon's credit, he went right down to first base, never even looked at the pitcher. Now, there is still the bottom of the ninth to be played.
Yeah.
The Reds could reignite things by retaliating, but I think right now everybody pretty much considers it's an eye for an eye. Phillips' celebration, down he went. And at least, Ray, by old baseball rules, it's over.
That's the way I played, man. And that's the way I was raised in the Reds organization, and everybody played that way back then. And, you know, you just...
Well, you don't let a team or any player come into your ballpark and disrespect you.
Well, it is about that. And, you know, for a long time, we were the Patsies of this league. We just couldn't play. But not anymore. And, you know, somebody directed that. And maybe with his experience, Batista chose to do it.
You know what? He didn't need to be told.
He didn't need to be told, but how many times have you seen it? It just doesn't happen anymore, Bob. It just doesn't happen anymore. You know, it probably doesn't happen 2 or 3 times a season. So to have it happen with our ball club, and not belabor the thought, but it's the right thing to do, and it was done correctly. hit him in the butt, ball below the waist. And you know where I have problems is when somebody would come in on me up around my shoulders. I only charged them out one time in my life, and that was when George Foster hit a grand slam, and I'm batting behind him, and Tom Niedenfuhr was pitching for the Dodgers, and he stared at me from on-deck circle all the way to the plate. Mike Socha was the catcher, and I said, Mike, if he hits me, I'm going after him now. I said, he just stared at me. I got no problem with getting drilled, but nobody's going to stare at me all the way from the on-deck circle to the mound and then hit me.
Yeah. He
drilled me in the elbow, and I went and got him. And you know, I didn't hit the home run, but I've been drilled many times because I hit behind Foster a lot. And
not always real good.
You know, and I went to first base, never thought about it. But, you know, don't stare at me and then make me think you're trying to intimidate me. Just
because you gave up a 4-run homer. There's a line drive up the middle by Joey Votto. And the Reds have collected 11 hits tonight. Brandon Phillips acting like he was going to third and forcing a throw in behind him from Niger. And it'll be Scott Rowland now.
Well, he is one heck of a player. And, you know, one other story real quick. I mean, Dave Parker, when I went to another network and was on national TV, they asked about, they wanted to do a segment about hot dogs in the league. You know, who was the guy that really showed off? And I said, you know, Dave Parker. You know, he hits a home run and he runs into your dugout. And I said, you know, if that happened and I was on the mound, I'd drill him. And Dave Parker's brother heard that story. And he was in Toronto at that time. I'd been retired a couple years, and Dave and I had been friends. But he knew that I didn't like that baloney, and he's a pretty big fellow.
Oh, yeah?
At the All-Star game, I got actually a newspaper article that a producer sent me saying that Ray Knight was all mouth, and, you know, he can say that easily when he's 2,000 miles away. That got off with me a little bit. So I happened to be covering an All-Star game that year, which was in Chicago, and it bothered me so much that I went to the dugout of the American League's team, sat there on the day that they're taking batting practice, waiting for Dave to come out. And when he came out, he saw me, and he took his hand out and said, man, I got no problem with what you said. My brother was the one that was upset.
His brother's sticking up for him.
Yeah. But
this ball is going to be fair. And Adam Dunn makes the catch. Top of the 9th inning is over. All right, justice has been served. 5-1 Reds.
Let's go back up to Bob and Ray for the night.
Well, Johnny, well said. I don't think we absolutely positively knew it was coming. I think secretly we hoped it was coming, and it was handled the exact right way. Desmond comes home. Phillips, good hard baseball. but the display after is what riled up the Nats. Right there. And there's payback. Batista tossed.
Hey, ho, Joe. Joe, his right arm's got to be tired right now.
You know, he's becoming, Ray, he's becoming heave-ho Joe.
I know it, man. Gosh.
Here's Willingham, Bernardina, and Desmond, and Francisco Cordero, the Cincinnati closer. Non-safe situation. He has 16 on the year. He's blown 3. And Cordero, 266 career. 0-4 with Texas, 49. 37 with the Rangers the following year. And the Nats saw some of him 3 years ago when he had 44 in Milwaukee. He overpowers Josh. Easy fly ball, 1 out. Next up, Roger Bernardina, 1-4-3 with a base hit. And the Reds will stay 1 game back of St. Louis in the Central, unless the Nats stage an incredible comeback here. His off-speed pitch. This guy's always had a great arm. He was in the minor leagues for 6 years before he got his big league shot.
Gore just flashed 97.
Yeah, I guess 88 was his changeup.
That is kind of like position 8 at fourth baseman, up and out.
Bernardino with a good swing and a foul ball into the corner. And Desmond, 1 for 3 tonight.
Yeah, Desi, he's kind of finding himself in the middle of a lot of activity. Third base overruled, obstruction being called.
They had to give him an error on that play. He has 15 on the year. Desmond that comes up now. Bernardina gone. The Nats are down to their final out. Nats have not won a series since the last homestand. They'll have a chance to do that tomorrow despite tonight's loss. Count 2-1 to the national shortstop. Ball game approaching the 3-hour mark. And it's 2-2.
His arm is pretty well intact. 86 mile an hour on that slider. 34 years old. 6 on the career saves list, active career save list, of course, headed by Hoffman and Rivera. He's been doing the job for a long time.
Will Nieves got knocked into yesterday, or was it tomorrow, by Brandon Phillips. It'll be interesting to see if he does catch tomorrow. Maybe Jamie Burke gets a call. And it's 3-2 now with Will Nieves on deck. Reds with 1 strike to go for Cincinnati. Not yet. It's a 2-for-4 game for Ian Desmond, who did the same with an RBI last night. So he's having a good series with 4 base hits.
He has a quick bat. He's able to get to those fastballs, and he's become a very good 2-strike hitter. That's a breaking ball, but he stays on that thing, and he's beginning to wear that hole out right there. Boy, he's going to be a great player. He's got everything. You mention his arm all the time. I don't think people realize how good of an arm he has. Yeah. Exceptional range.
Well, you and I talked about that play on the throw to Nieves. A lot of shortstop would not even attempt that throw because they can't make that throw. Fastball away, 1 ball, 1 strike, 95. Desmond goes for second. Nieves will foul it. A reminder, if you're coming to the ball game on Tuesday night, go to nationals.com/way to go for parking, ticket, and transportation information. Expecting a sellout crowd, and the game is over. They didn't even have to appeal. 3 hours and 4 minutes of baseball. The Reds win it 5-1 and even the series.
Joe's going to bang you and throw you out. He doesn't ask anybody.
Will Nieves still wants an appeal. And the Reds win it for Ray Knight and Debbie Taylor, Bob Carpenter. 5-1 Cincinnati at Nationals Park. Join us tomorrow, MASN 2 HD. The Nats conclude this series with the Reds. We'll start you with Nats Extra at 1 p.m. This has been a presentation of MASN. Stay tuned now. Verizon Fios Nats Extra coming up right now with Johnny and Phil from the ballpark. It's been another controversial night. Heave ho, says Joe, and so long for just a while.